Nominated for multiple Independent Spirit Awards and now finally making its way into U.S. theaters, it is the highly acclaimed We Grown Now.
Yeah, so we're a little bit early on this. This comes out this Friday. That is April 19th in New York, LA, Chicago, because it is set in Chicago, a very specific place and time. It'll be out there later on. So we'll put a link down below for you to find it when it comes to your neighborhood theater, because I think you're going to want to check this out. This is going to be a very acclaimed indie for all the world to see in your art house theaters. It is Art House Tuesday. We don't mess around on Art House Tuesday. We give you the good stuff, which is why you need to subscribe to our Breakfast All Day channel, because really, who else is doing Art House Tuesday? No one.
Step up.
Whoever had a dream that felt so real you thought you was awake.
We Grown Now is about these two young friends growing up in Cabrini Green, the housing project in Chicago in the early 90s. It's like 1992. And it is what happens at this point of flux for their neighborhood and for their friendship. Malik has a younger sister, and his mom is played by Jurnee Smollett. His grandma also lives with them, played by S. Epatha Murkison. And they're just a working class family, just trying to put it together, go to school, go to work, live your days, even though it's getting increasingly violent out there in the project, in the streets, in the neighborhood. His best buddy is a kid named Eric, who lives with his widower dad, played by Lil Rel Howery, and older sister who's like in high school. And it's this kind of dreamlike and yet rooted in daily reality story of these two friends and their friendship. Minhal Baig wrote and directed this. And she also did Hala, which I think we talked about at some point here. Rings a bell?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Anyway, I thought we had. And it's incredibly beautiful in understated ways and very poetic ways. Like there's a great visual poetry to it. Pat Scola is a cinematographer. And among the many films he has shot include Pig and Monsters and Men, and then the upcoming Sing Sing and A Quiet Place Day One. And so everything here is so thoughtful in terms of just like there's a hazy kind of gauzy intimacy to their daily adventures, whether they're like trying to find a mattress to go flying through the air to land on, or they're just talking about the bulls or whatever it is. You feel like you are a part of their daily adventures, and the way it's shot is almost sometimes like what Spielberg does with E.T., where he's got the camera down low and showing you the world through their eyes, or stuff that happens from beneath the table, or like looking around the corner of a hallway or a stairway. And then the score is very beautiful too. It's this like kind of propulsive, but also kind of classical, very string heavy score from Jay Wadley. Yeah, a lot of cello. And Jay Wadley's filmography is very eclectic as well. Like he did the score for Fire Island. Oh, wow. Okay. But also I'm Thinking of Ending Things and the Mahershala Ali Swan Song. So I feel like all the places are here for, it's an art house film through and through. It's a low key, intimate indie through and through, but there's so much emotional truth to these kids and their interactions. There's kind of a sweet Ferris Bueller's Day Off homage about halfway through. I thought was kind of clever in the way they get into that. So I found myself on the verge of tears a few different times. And then by the end, I'm like, ah. So this moved me. I thought it was quite lovely.
I admire this movie more than I love it. And I believe me, I'm a crier. I would, there's no shame in that game. And I would tell you if I did. I think for me, where I agree with you, the movie looks great. I love the score. The performances are very heartfelt. There is, for me, I think, when you're dealing with movies that are about childhood, about the way that kids see the world and understand the world, there are movies I think that really nail it, like from the kid's point of view. Like I always think of Spike Lee's Crooklyn as one of my favorites for that. But like Amarcord, for the Fellini film, or the Spanish classic Spirit of the Beehive, where they really like, you understand the world as a child sees it and as they experience it and as they interact with each other. And there were moments in this one where I could just kind of feel the adult screenwriter sneaking in, and like sometimes these kids would sort of say something that felt a little wise beyond their years, or they would understand an adult conversation that they were eavesdropping on with a depth that I didn't quite buy in a character this young. So I don't know. There were just moments that kind of took me out of that, where I felt like it felt like there was a lot of hindsight that the actual characters wouldn't have. But I still like a lot about this. I think the way it's crafted is really beautiful. Like I said, I think there are moments that land. All the performances are great, the adults and the children. I just didn't completely get into the feel of I am taking in this world from a kid's POV. Like there were moments for me where I could tell that this was a grown-up telling this story with a grown-up sense of looking back or foreknowledge. Perspective. Thank you. Yes, that's the word. So that kept me from completely plunging into the emotional aspect of it. But I think from a craft point of view, I'm totally on board for this. I loved looking at it and I loved experiencing it.
See, I figured that both these kids, they're about 12. And so they're about the age where you're kind of being, you're able to figure out how the world works. And they've seen some things. They're probably wise beyond their years. Like they take the L, into downtown one day. And I feel like the fact that kids that age know how to do that on their own speaks to a maturity and a street smart quality that maybe not everyone would have at that age. So I didn't have a problem with that. They
sneak under the turnstiles to get on the train, but then they take a bus home. And I was like, well, how'd you get on the bus?
Oh,
I don't know.
Maybe they had a little bit of money in their pockets.
It's a dumb thing. It was just a thing that I noticed in the moment, and that was not a deal breaker for me. It was just something I noticed.
I want to mention the kids really fast because they're both excellent.
Yeah.
Blake Cameron James is Malik, and John Knight Ramirez is Eric. And there's nothing precocious little kid about them at all. They feel totally natural. My only little complaint is that I wish there was more to the parent characters, especially Lil Rel Howery. Jurnee Smollett is lovely as like the mom trying to hold it all together and make tough decisions for the betterment of her family. Estepatha Murkison is so heartbreaking and has like such understated truth here.
Yeah.
A couple of really, really great scenes where she's just talking about her own childhood. And you feel that warmth, you feel that bond that she is the glue and connects the past with the present and the future. And so I think everyone's really, really great in this.
Yeah. The kids, I think not only are they not like artificial in any way, not giving you sort of like kid performances, they can both hold a close up, which is not something that I think all young performers can do, but they can hold a close up and have a lot of different things going on emotionally with no words that I was really impressed by. So, I mean, as you know, I know with kid performances, a lot of times they're made in the editing room. It depends on who you ask about how those happen, but whatever it was, the two of them in collaboration with this writer director, I think are really nailing it. So yeah, I wish I liked this more, but there's a lot to like in what's here.
Okay. So you did not cry. Is that what you're saying?
I did not cry, unfortunately.
I'm shocked.
But I can see the movie wants you to, and I can see how that would happen in a way. So I'm like, I understand why you did, but alas, I did not.
Okay. What's your number?
I'll say like a 7.2. I think, again, this is beautifully crafted. I want to see more from all of these people. What else? I want to see more from this writer director, from these performers. But yeah, it didn't completely. And I love the movies about childhood sort of. That's a genre I really love, and so maybe I have very high standards in that regard. It didn't quite meet.
Okay, I'm gonna say a 9. Very, very well done. So We've Grown Now. We'll have a link to where it's playing down below. LA, New York, Chicago. It's in your city this weekend. Go check it out.